signed up LeGarrette Blount. If you don't have efficient running, you're not going to consistently win in the National Football League. You can talk that throw it around the league and get the highlights, and you can get Deion Sanders big up in you, or you can win some championships like the Patriots, and don't nobody know who you are because you got a running back who's solid. Look. Who beat the Patriots last year? The Eagles. What happened? They had Blunt and they had a dab out of Miami running down your throat, getting the Patriots defense tired, and what happened? They lost. It's simple, man. It's checkers, not chess. Football, again, I say this every week. Football is a simple game that is difficult to play at a high level. That's it. That's all. I'm not going to say it no more. Yes, I'm going to say it in 7 days. But it was a good game. Now, we go since Big Anthony Aquarius brought it up, bear down. The Chicago Bears, my prediction, Mitch Trubisky looked like a real quarterback for the first time in the history of the game. In the history of the Bears, they had 6 touchdowns, 6 passing touchdowns. Trubisky had 3 rushing yards for 53, 6 rushes for 53 yards. Let's look at this, y'all. Again, to support what I said, 26 passes to 31 runs. Now, they scored 6 passing touchdowns, but they still had 31 rushes. Now, Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick got their brains beat out. 18 rushes, 38 passes. Hey, man, checkers, not chess. Now, that Fitz magic thing is over. We knew that shit was dead. It's stinking. We've just heard that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be allowing Jameis Winston to resume his spot at the top. Me and the angry black man, AMB, in the chat room, we were praying that they would stay crazy and keep benching Jameis Winston so he can pack his bags and go on over to Jacksonville and get it in over there with them big homies. But that don't look like that. And let's not forget, we wanted him to be in that situation, but he got punished for something he did 3 years ago. In the last 3 years, Jameis Winston has had 0 issues. So they gonna re-sign him. A lot of people are rooting against Jameis Winston, but go to hell with all that foolishness. Now, the next game I'm gonna talk about is the Detroit Lions. It's not the Detroit Lions. It's Detroit. We from the hood. It's Detroit. If you're from Detroit, you know it's the Detroit Lions. Now, looking at the Detroit Lions again, y'all, they continue to sling the ball over the field. They have the worst run defense in the league. Now, you always, with me saying you have to be able to predict what's going on. You have to be able to run the throw and throw the run and all that, right? Cool. But again, the Detroit Lions go 5 years without having a 100-yard rusher. It looks like they're going to go another 5 because they only rushed the ball 20 times. They threw the ball 30 times because they're trying to get Matthew Stafford the big win in front of the home team. But look at here. Y'all got the homie Dak Prescott finally looked like the old Dak Prescott. 9 yards of pass, but he only threw the ball 27 times. Ezekiel Elliott by himself ran the ball 25 times. Then you got Ross Smith for 6, Tavon Austin for 1, and Dak Prescott for 3, for a total of 35. They almost ran the ball 10 times more, and the Dallas Cowboys won. People, the Dallas Cowboys are a conundrum. I don't understand why. It's not even a conundrum. I'm lying. It's not a conundrum. The problem with the Dallas Cowboys is their owner want to be the star of the show. He's still trying to get over the fact that he fired Jimmy Johnson and let Bill Parcells walk out the door. Those are your faults. His ego won't allow him to let the Dallas Cowboys be what they can be. Again, if they were running, the Dallas Cowboys have a stout defense. The Dallas Cowboys have a stout defense. They have a solid quarterback. And I'm sick and tired of people saying, oh man, Dak Prescott ain't what we thought he was. People, when you Tom Brady, when you Dan Marino, when you Donovan McNabb, when you Peyton Manning, you can get. We don't know if Peyton Manning can do it with some Rudy Poos because he ain't never played with no Rudy Poos. But when you Aaron Rodgers, somebody like that, you can put up big numbers with some average receivers. The rest of these guys need some quality ball players with them. Dak Prescott is out there with Manny Moore. He throwing the ball to Manny Moore and Jack, and they want him to put up big numbers. It's not Dak. I repeat, it's not Dak. It is a porous coaching staff and a basic game plan that's stopping them from winning. Look, when they ran the ball, they put up 26. I do understand it was against the Detroit Lions, but at the end of the day, they putting up points when you let Ezekiel Elliott eat and when you let Dak do his thing from the run-pass aspect. I'm going to talk about this whole non-creative football that we seeing in a second. Now, I'm going to the Bengals and the Falcons, or as Deion Sanders used to say back in the day, the Falcons. Another situation where you want this quarterback to be something he's not, and every time you try to make him out to be something he's not, he loses. This is a picture-perfect example of if these dudes allow the running game to help the quarterback. The defense is beat up. They have about 7 dudes who are injured or nicked up at this point. The Atlanta Falcons refuse to continue to run Tevin Coleman, Oito Smith, and Calvin and Eoto Smith. Look, this is not something that you have to do every single week. But if you want, they got a defense that's built on speed. This is an undersized defense, and when you have an undersized defense built on speed, you need to run the ball to offset that. As I stated a second ago, you are looking at a team that is built on speed and things of that nature. If your defense is already naturally extending more energy than your offense, then what you have to do is this. You have to run the ball to get those boys a break. And if you don't give them a break, that's on you, man. You're going to continue to lose. And look, the Atlanta Falcons pulled off. They snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory once again. The Cincinnati Bengals, even though they did the total contrast of what my theory was, they did run Giovanni Bernard for 15 carries at 4.6 yards a carry. And they did run Mark Walton. I do believe Joe Mixon to be back this week, which again, with the stout defense that they have, and Andy Dalton playing way above his head, as long as you don't try to get that dude to win the game for you, Cincinnati gonna be solid. I told y'all, man, Marvin Lewis, I know Big Ant don't like Marvin Lewis. He been kicking him in his head for a couple years now. I still support the homie Marvin Lewis. He a defensive guru. And then you go down to the Packers. Now, the Packers for once had a real defense show up. I don't know if they would get it off layaway, they got it from the Goodwill, they're just going to use it for a week and then take it back, put it back in the package. But the defense and Green Bay was looking good. It could be because their quarterback in Buffalo ain't worth 1,000 cookies. This dude, tough. When you one of these homies, you can just do what you want to do at the quarterback position. But look, Calvin Benjamin up there, he's wasting away 1 catch at 34 yards. But when you look at look, here's another. Even though Aaron Rodgers threw the ball 40 times, look at how they spread it out. Aaron Jones, 11 carries. Aaron Rodgers, 5. Jamal Williams, 11. Ty Montgomery, 5. 32 carries. If you are in the ballpark of 50-50, you're going to win. They blew these dudes out 22-0. It ain't really hard to shut out the Buffalo Bills, but what you have to do is take account for what you're playing with. If Buffalo were really smart, they know they're not going back to the playoffs this year. It's a wrap. You got Shady McCoy on your team. He done busted up his college. He ain't as valuable as he would be. But trade Shady McCoy to one of these teams like the Green Bay Packers so you can get you some picks and then get the hell up out of here, man, because they're not going to win anything at Buffalo. It's a wrap, y'all. It's a sad situation. Now, what I wanted to talk about is the lack of creativity in the offense in football. A lot of teams are taking a shift with this RPO, run pass option. Run pass option is a college football concept, and when you're looking at it, the way they are constructed in the NFL, people calling it soft, but what it is a passer-friendly league, and it is designed for scoring. If you are going to make a league that's designed for scoring, what you're going to have to do is stop all your old school antics in regards to, hey, if you want to be good, you got to do this, and if you want to be good, you got to do that. That's not the way to win in football anymore. You can only win from the pocket. That's not going to get you wins in the NFL anymore. You have to be more creative. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about race in sports because you're trying to get away from the political situations in sports, and sports is your getaway. But the black quarterback is traditionally a mobile quarterback, but I'm just going to go mobile quarterbacks. The problem with the NFL is this. You are uncreative, you're unimaginative. And the teams that are creative and imaginative are kicking you in your ass, i.e. the New England Patriots. They'll beat you running the ball 30 times this week. They'll beat you passing the ball 30 times next week. They'll beat you with some trick plays the week after. It's a creative offense Bill Belichick understands what you don't do well, and he does it with his quarterback and with his offense. Brady is not mobile under any circumstances, but what they do is make it so his intelligence becomes mobility in a roundabout way. What they are doing in the NFL is wasting a lot of talent. If you really want people to tune in, why don't you make this a user-friendly league? And what I mean by user-friendly, you got the quarterback protected to the point where if people look at him too hard, it's a penalty. Not a problem. You got Deshaun Watson. Instead of trying to make Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz stand in the pocket and be Joe Montana and Tom Brady and these guys, that's not the way to win. Everybody can't win the same way. See, if you listen to that, once I post that Tracy Murray interview, you will see the fact that he even speaks about how when you have to have a proper personnel to be successful. The New England Patriots are the best at using their personnel. They have a saying. It's called "Do your job." If you can only block in a straight line, when you in the game, they only call a straight line blocks for you or your side. That way, when it's your time to shine, all you have to do is do what you do. You got people like Wes Welker, Hagan, and these guys on the team, and they can I beat you deep? But I'm gonna beat you with technique. But I'm gonna have the most sound and solid technique in the world. That's why they continue to beat you. It ain't, oh man, he's a slow white guy. Hey man, if you are anything that resembles an athlete and you've been around anything that resembles athletes, you can take that slow white boy shit and stick it up your behind, because a bunch of them slow white boys will cook you. If you don't believe me, do yourself a favor, go to YouTube and you will see, and Google Tom Waddle highlights. If you're from Chicago, you know exactly who Tom Waddle is. Tom Waddle highlights. The whitest guy in the history of the Bears. All they did was run him across the middle and let him get his brains knocked out. But guess what? When you look at his highlights, you will see him cooking prime. And when I say prime, I'm talking about Deion Sanders. He beat Deion Sanders D for a touchdown. Technique will beat talent every single solitary day. And these dudes in the NFL are not teaching people how to play football. They are running the exact same stale, unimaginative offenses, which lead to you getting your ass whooped more times than not. I understand. I'm sitting here going, you have to run to win and throw to score. That's so you can preserve your defense. But when you are on offense, be creative, because all the plays work. Every single play in the history of football works. It's a matter of execution. Execution. If you don't agree, you are welcome to call me at 773-797-2409. That's 773-797-2409. If you just want to be a part of the show, say something so people can say, man, you can tell you people, I was on that, man. I was on Hobbs' show. You know how dope Hobbs is. I was on the show. But anyway, man. But for real, that's what's going wrong with the NFL. Baker Mayfield, if you construct the offense that's geared towards Baker Mayfield's abilities, you will win. All I have to do, look, I can go through the league and show you when there's an offense constructed to what I do best, I'll win. Don't believe me? The Seattle Seahawks, they tell you this is a passing league. You can't win without that running. The last time the Seattle Seahawks were dominant is when who was on their team? Beast mode. And last year, what happened? Russell Wilson. What did they do the few years that they were contending for Super Bowls? They catered the offense for a dude who was 6 feet tall with mobility, so he could decide if he was going to use his wheels or if he was going to use his arm. And if he was going to use his wheels, he ran out of bounds. If he was going to use his arm, he hit Baldwin and those other people, and they got it in. And when all else failed, you turned around, you hand the ball to beast mode, and get the hell out of his way. People, again, difficult game to play. It's a simple game, difficult to play at a high level. That's it. That's right, Ken. He was a beast. And when you look across the league, I will give you chapter and verse, book, chapter, verse, again, and again, of how this isn't a passing league. This is an execution